Guys, welcome to Raw Customs. I'm your host, Patrick O'Pole, and on this episode, the Ant-Man helmet. Now, I've had quite a few requests over the last year for this, so I figured with the new Avengers movie coming out and the Ant-Man and Wasp movie coming out soon, it'd be a great time to tackle the build to show y'all how to make an Ant-Man helmet. I've got you covered down below. If you go down to the description area, you'll find links to templates as well as a kit build that you can order for this off of Etsy. So if you're interested, go down there. On your way down there, go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. I'll cover the helmet a little bit more at the end of the video, but for now, here's how to do it. For this build, you're going to need 4 sheets of 5mm foam, a set of googly eyes, contact cement, tape, transparent plastic, Plasti-Dip, spray paint, a heat gun, a rotary tool, razor knife, and an airbrush if you have one. Start with the ribs for the top of the helmet. Arrange them in order from the longest one to the shortest one. Then lay them face down and number them 1 through 6. The longest one will be your number 1 and the shortest one your number 6. Next, arrange the ribs for the inside of the helmet. There are 3 sizes. Number them 1 through 7. The shortest is number 1, the long ones are 2 through 3, and the remaining ones are 5 through 7. Next, take the frame for the face. Use a heat gun to heat the piece, and slightly bow it. Next, heat the forehead piece and put a small bow in it. Your center indicator mark should be face up. Heat and slightly bow the forehead strips as well. Now apply contact cement to all the edges as shown. I recommend using 2 coats of cement on all edges for the entire build. Make sure to let the first coat dry. Now take your forehead piece and one of your strips, with the outside curve of the strip facing the forehead piece and the slot facing down. Press your 2 pieces together, starting at the bottom and working your way to the top. Since you've heated the foam, it may have slightly shrank or stretched a little bit, so you may have to force the ends to line up. Now join the face to the forehead section. Line up the edges at the bottom and work your way to the top. Now heat up the section for the eyes and give it a small bow. Line it up in place on the back side of the faceplate using your registration lines. Then trace your section out. Apply glue to your marked areas and allow it to set up. You will only need 1 coat of glue for your flat areas. Press your eyes section in place. Start at the lower section of the faceplate and firmly press the bottom sections together. Then press the top section together, starting in the center. Heat the center section for the back of the helmet. Slightly bow the center section and give the flaps a small bend down. Now heat your louvered section and bow it down with the louvers facing up. Then heat and bend the outside strip. Take the rectangle section and give it a slight bow. Then lay it in place on the back side of the center section and trace it out. Now apply cement to the edges of your pieces as shown. Line up the line on your center section with the shallow corner on the louvered strip and press the pieces together, working your way up from the line and then the bottom section down from the line. Press your outside strip in place, starting at the bottom corner and working your way to the top. Apply your glue for the rectangle and then press it in place. Apply cement to the top of all the inside ribs, to the top edge on the back of the faceplate, the back side of the top ribs, and to the top edge of the back piece. There are center marks to help you line up all your pieces. Take inside rib number 1 and give it a good bow. Line it up on the bottom side of the faceplate using the center points. Press the pieces together, working from the center to the outside edge, making sure to keep the edge of the helmet lined up with the reference lines. Now take your number 1 rib for the top of the helmet and line it up with the notches facing towards the front of the helmet. Line up the center mark with the inside rib and press the pieces together, working from the center to the outside edge, making sure to keep the front edge lined up with the reference line. Repeat this process for the remaining ribs. Just make sure to keep all your numbers in order. Once you get to the back, it's the same process. Line up your center point and press the piece in place. Heat up the outside edge piece and give it a small bow. Next, line it up in place on back of the helmet and mark it where it comes together at the bottom of the helmet. This will give you a reference on where to apply your glue. Apply your glue down to the reference mark, the front edge, and the edges on the body of the helmet. Press the edge piece in place on back of the helmet. Line up your top edges and work your way to the bottom. On the section that meets the faceplate, line up the front edge and work your way to the back. Now grab the bar section with the ovals on it. Line it up in place on the back side of the faceplate. The gap in the reference line matches the notch in the helmet. Pull the lower leg section in and line it up with the edge of the lower section, and then make a reference line for glue. Once your glue set up, the piece can be pressed in place. Now shape the top of the helmet by bending the sides of the ribs down. Use the strips on the faceplate as a guide to know where to make the bend. The inside side panels are marked left and right. The outside reference line has a corner on it. This lines up with the top corner of the outside strip. Apply glue to the outside edge of the side panel. Then apply glue to the ends of the ribs inside the helmet, but not to the ribs that make up the top of the helmet. Apply glue to the remaining surface area inside the helmet where the panel will set. Take your side panel and slide it in the helmet through the bottom. Then press the corner of the outside edge down. Line it up with the corner on your reference line and press your pieces together, working your way to the bottom and around to the top of the faceplate. Reach inside the helmet and pull the top of the panel back. Then bend the end of the ribs down. Hold the ribs down and bring the panel up to them, pressing the pieces together. Heat the top portion of the regulator. You'll want to bend this piece and roll the front edge down. Then heat the lower section and bend that as well. Apply glue to the edges of the two pieces as shown. Now press the pieces together, starting at the first corner and working your way around. Once you get to the center section, you're going to have to curve the two pieces as you press them together. Heat the nose piece for the regulator, and then give the top a small bow. Then hold the ends together until they cool. Apply glue to the edges of the regulator body and the nose piece. Line up the top edges and press the pieces together, working your way to the bottom. Take your two pieces for your regulator breather and glue them together. Place the breather onto the regulator body and make a reference line. Next, take a rotary tool and round over the top edge and sand the edge where the two pieces come together. Once you're done sanding your breather, apply your glue and press the two pieces together. The breather should be pushed down flat onto the regulator. There's two reference lines on the inside panel that line up with the center line on the outside panel. Round over the edge on the outside panel. Next, apply glue to the side of the helmet and the back side of the side panel. Bend the side panel like a taco and line up your reference marks. Then press the pieces together, working from the center out. The ear section is designed to stack together, and it goes together like this. To start this section, round over the top edge of the bottom layer. Round over the edges on your two triangle pieces. You'll want to round over the C-notch and the circle for the regulator. Lay your second and third layer of the main body together and mark a reference line for glue. Then apply glue to the pieces as shown. Layers 2 and 3 together, starting at the back edge, making sure to keep the edges lined up. Round over the edge of the top layer all the way around and sand the edge where the pieces come together. Now you can press your C-notch onto your circle, press your triangles together, and glue the antenna together. On the antenna, round over the edges on the square and spend some time shaping the antenna itself. Set layers 2 and 3 in place and make a reference line for glue and mark a reference for the antenna as well. Apply your glue and press the sections together as shown. Once the pieces are glued together, you can clean up your edges. Now line up the earpiece on the side of the helmet using your registration lines, and mark reference lines on the bottom of the helmet. Then apply your glue and press the piece into place. Use tape to hold the regulator in place on the helmet. Line the regulator up with the helmet. The edges should be pressed against each other. Press the side of the regulator against the point on the side of the helmet. Now lay your circle with the C-notch in place. Clock it so that the triangle piece lays in place properly. Then make reference marks so it can be laid back in place. Apply glue to your pieces, then press your C-notch in place. Now take your small circle and glue it onto your googly eyes. Then glue the circle into the C-notch. Now press the triangles into the C-notch. And the last part to put in place is the antenna. To seal the helmet, I recommend using Plasti-Dip. I used 2 light coats followed by 2 heavy coats. That was followed up with 2 coats of silver paint. Next, the helmet was taped off and an airbrush used to spray in my details. If you don't have an airbrush, you could always paint all these colors on by hand, or you could even tape each color off and spray it with a rattle can. Now take your red film, trim it to fit, and then mark it for glue. Then press the lens into place on the inside of the helmet. Alright guys, there it is, the Ant-Man helmet. Give you a little bit closer look on the detail pieces. I actually spent quite a bit of time trying to get this helmet just right and get the build down to where it was pretty simple to put together. On a scale of 1 to 10 as far as difficulty, I would actually give this a 4. That's only because there's so many pieces. But my tip for you on this one is just be patient. It's going to take a while to put all this together. Go ahead and, as you put the pieces together, work each piece as far as rounding it out, smoothing out the edges, and getting everything clean. Get that piece done and then glue it to the helmet so you don't have to rework it later. The kit, it actually comes with all your foam pieces, the piece for your visor, and some googly eyes for the ends right here. Other than that, you'll need the standard stuff, your paint, tools, Plasti-Dip, things of that nature. One cool thing about this helmet, or something I like about it, is the breather right here can push up inside the helmet. This open up that hole for you in the bottom, make it easier to put on your head, or if you got a little bit bigger head, allow you to put it on. The only other comment I have pretty much about this is, when you might, on the inside section here, you might want to put some Velcro here so that when it comes down, it doesn't start to drift down like that when you wear it. So far I haven't had any issues, but I haven't been wearing this all over the place or for an entire day or anything like that. And for you guys that have been working on the Shore Trooper helmet and put that together, a lot of y'all gave me some great feedback. A lot of y'all have asked for the actual rest of the suit, the uniform. So as you can see, I'm actually over here working on this. This here is just a prototype that I'm working on, getting it all together. And once I get that thing finished, I will be doing some tutorials on that and putting out templates for you guys. So that's on the way. Also, I know a lot of y'all have seen this in the background, the Iron Man. I am working on that as well. It will be an entire suit, and that will be put out with templates and a piece at a time once I get to that. I've got tons of stuff going on right now. So just be patient, stick with me, and hopefully eventually I'll get to a build that you're interested in. Until next time, God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.